Hello students, welcome to all of you Shiksha 360, and today we have to discuss the chapter number 33 part 4. Clear, one part left after that, and after that we will discuss the MCQs also of this topic. So let's start our discussion. We have covered already some things regarding that. We will overview that is variances analysis. Clear, in that we will start from the material cost variance. Clear, material cost variance, and our target that is we have to cover the material cost variance today and labor cost variance also. Clear, so let's start from there. So now we have to discuss clear up to this much, that is there is more, that is there is an increase in the cost of the steel up to, that's why there is a cost of variance of rupees 100 in the cost of material consumed. Now further we have to move that. So what are the possible causes? Clear. So what are the possible causes of the material price variance? Sometimes the material price variance basically may not be the result of the increase in the market price alone. Like what has happened in the previous case. Clear. They are saying that basically sometimes the material price variances will not be the one cause. Clear. Basically will not be the or may not be the only cause of increase in the materials. So it may also reflect on the inefficiency on the purchase department. Clear, like which has not able to locate and utilize the most effective source of supply of material. Like they are taking the material from a distance, from a distant source that is available far from that. Okay. So it may also reflect on the inefficiency of the purchase department, which has not able to locate and utilize the most effective source of supply of material, or has failed to take the advantage of discount on bulk purchases. There or they are not able to take the sufficient discount on the bulk purchases. So it is also possible further, that is it is also possible that the inventory control department has not been efficient. Clear. It is also possible that the inventory control department has not been efficient enough to notify the requirement of the material. Clear. It is also possible that the inventory control department has not been that much efficient enough to notify the requirement of material in time, resulting in emergency purchases. Clear. Like we can say that where manufacturing it is going on. Clear. They are not able to report that they require this much material in the upcoming 1 month. Clear. So even due to that, they have to buy the material basically in some emergencies. Clear. That also basically it means that they are able to purchase the material at a higher cost. So a favorable variances. So that is a favorable variances basically may also require proper scrutiny. Clear. A favorable variances may also require proper scrutiny as it may be a result of purchase of material of inferior quality. Clear. So a favorable variances. Clear. Basically here a favorable variances may also require proper scrutiny as it may be a result of purchase of material. Clear. As it may be a result of purchase of material of inferior quality. Now move to the next one. Material uses variance. Clear. Now earlier one which we have discussed, that is material cost variance, under that material price variances. Clear. Material price variances we have discussed. Now next one, that is material usage variances. On the basis of the uses, now we have to check how it will impact. Sorry. Material usage variance. So the cost of the material in the standard cost of the product. It is estimated by taking into account the quantities of the material expected. Clear. The cost of the material in the standard cost of the product, basically it is estimated by taking into account the quantities of the material expected to be consumed in production of each unit. Clear. By taking into account the quantities of material expected basically to be consumed in production of each account. So these estimates basically may not materialize during the actual manufacturing process. Clear. So these estimates further, that is may not materialize during the actual manufacturing process. So now what is the meaning that is they are saying that basically this will happen, that is due to the by taking into account the quantities of the material expected to be consumed in the production of each unit. Clear. That is due to the production. So now let's understand what is the reason behind that. For example, we will take the same example, clear, which we have taken in the previous case, clear. So we will have to take the same example of the furniture manufacturing factory taken above. The estimated the cost of wood and steel which go into the producing one table was rupees 2000, clear, comprising of 3 cubic feet of the teak wood at the rate of 500 cubic per cubic foot and 5 kg of stainless steel at the rate of rupees 100 per kg respectively. So when the review exercise was conducted after 1 week, it was found that the actual cost of material in each table was rupees 2100, clear. In the previous case also 2100 and now it is also 2100. So what is the reason behind it? Against the standard cost of rupees 2000. So further the analysis revealed that while the prices of both the wood and steel were the same as contained in the standard cost, 500, 100. Clear, in the previous case it will increase to 120. Here it will be same. 3 cubic meter and here 3 cubic foot and here 5 kg. So what is the reason behind that? So when the quantity of wood consumed increased to 3.2, clear. So here it will add to the 3.2 cubic feet. Against the estimate of 3 cubic feet, clear, against the estimate of 3 cubic feet. The consumption of steel, clear, on the other side also the consumption of steel basically was as per the estimates in the standard costing, clear. So here it will let to the 1600 for wood, 500 for stainless steel, overall 2100, clear, into 5. Clear. So here we are able to understand that is why the price will increase. That is due to the consumption of the or due to the more uses of the wood. Clear. Due to the more uses of the wood as the estimated. Clear, as the estimated, that will lead to the increase in the price. Clear, that will lead to the increase in the price here. Okay. Now next one. So here now let's discuss that is here. So this caused a variance of rupees 200 in the total cost of the material consumed for each table. So it is important to note that the variance should be calculated for each material separately. As in the above example, an increase in the quantity of wood consumed could be nullified in money terms by a decrease in the quantity of steel consumed. Clear? So here, if there is little bit increase in the wood, so basically they can say that how we can nullify it basically by decreasing in the uses of the steel consumption here. Clear? So the increased consumption of wood would not have been notified if separate analysis of both materials have not been conducted. Clear? Okay. So we have to try to that is nullify. Clear? If there is increase in one, so basically we have to utilize the second one in such a way that is basically it will increase or nullify the effect of that increase in uses. Clear? Only it led us to profit. Clear? If we are utilizing the things in such a way, only after that we will get the profit in the end. Clear? We will able to get the profit in the end. So now what are the possible causes? Clear? So now we have to discuss what are the possible causes for that. So some of the possible causes, clear, some of the possible causes of variances in the material uses can be as under. First one, that is the inferior quality of the material purchase. Clear, that is inferior quality of the material purchase. Clear, that is quality of the material basically it is not as much good as which we require here. Second one, theft or pilferage. Third one, increase the wastage. Clear, there is also increase in the wastage because we are not handling due to careless handling during the manufacturing. Clear, so increased wastage due to careless handling during the manufacturing. Fourth one, not following the standard production procedures. Clear, fourth one is that is They are not able to follow. Clear? Not following the standard production procedures. Fifth one, that is the changes in the quality of the finished goods. Clear? Compared to that emphasized in the standard costing. Clear? So changes in the quality of the finished goods. Clear? Compared to that emphasized in the standard costing. Clear? Compared to that basically emphasized in the standard costing. Okay. Now move to the next one. That is regarding the material uses variance. So now next one, that is the labor cost variance. Clear? Labor cost variance, that is also very, very important. Now let's try to understand that. What they are trying to say here. So as in the case of the materials, clear, as in the case of the materials, the total cost of the labor depends upon the rate of the wages for the labor and the quantity of the labor used in manufacturing each unit. Clear? So basically, in the labor cost, in the as in the case of the material, so the total cost of labor. So basically, where it depends. First one, that is the rate of wages. Second one, that is the quantity of the labor. Clear? So rate of the wages and the quantity of the labor used in manufacturing each unit. So the variances of the actual cost of labor. Clear? So the variances of the actual cost of labor from the standard cost in producing one unit. Clear? So the variances of the actual cost of labor basically from the standard cost in producing one unit can also be arrived. Clear? That can also be arrived at by these two factors as under. First one, that is the labor rate variances. Clear? Under that first one, that is the labor rate variances. So the variances basically under this head, it is cost due to the actual wages paid per hour being different from the standard wages per hour estimated in the standard costing. Clear? So labor rate variances basically what is the meaning that under this the variances basically under this head basically it is cost. Clear? Why? Basically due to the actual wages paid per hour. Clear? That is what the actual wages basically we are paying. It is differ from the standard wages per hour. Clear? It is different basically from the standard wages per hour estimated in the standard costing. Clear? That is basically estimated in the standard costing, that is comes under the labor rate variances. So now let's understand basically this with the help of example. Why we are discussing all these examples here step by step, because only these things basically will help us to understand regarding all these points. So whole preparing the estimates, clear, whole preparing the estimates of the standard cost, it was estimated that the labor hours required for manufacturing one table basically will be 6 hours. So labor hour, it will be 6 hours here. So as the labor of that particular skill was available at rupees 150 per hour. So how much they will take, that is rupees 150 per hour. So the cost of manufacturing one tablet is to be 900, 150 into 6. After 1 week, the review exercise was conducted. This one is the standard. The review exercise was conducted and it was found that the actual cost of labor for each table was rupees 960. This is the actual one. This is the standard. This is the actual. Clear? So there is a gap of rupees 60 here. So now what will happen? Clear? So what will happen here? Now let's understand. So it was found that while the actual labor hours for manufacturing each table were 6 hours, same as the estimates in the standard costing. Clear? So hours it is to be same here. Now it is also 6 hours. Earlier wages 150. New wages we will check now. Clear? Only there are two factors. So if the time will not change, so wages will change here. So the actual wages basically paid to the labor was rupees 160. Clear? Actual wages basically was rupees 160 per hour against the 150. Clear? This one. So that will lead to the, if per hour there will increase in 10 rupees. So basically for 6 hours, there will increase in the 60 rupees. Okay? So the actual wages basically paid to the labor were rupees 160 per hour against rupees 150 estimated in the standard cost. So this resulted in variances of rupees 60 per table in the labor cost of manufacturing one table. Clear? So this resulted in variances. Clear? So basically this resulted in variances of rupees 60 per table in the labor cost of manufacturing one table. Clear? In the labor cost of manufacturing one table. So the total variances further, that is the total variances in the labor cost. Clear? The total variances basically in the labor cost due to this reason. Clear? The total variances basically in the labor cost due to this reason will be equal to the variance for one unit multiplied by the total number of units manufactured during the period. Clear? By the total number of units basically manufactured during the period. Clear? So the here the total variances basically in the labor cost due to this reason basically will be equal to the variance for one unit multiplied by the total number of units. Clear? Variance here, that is 10 R6. Clear? This is the variance. 6 hours. Clear? So kindly remember that. Clear? So here basically the difference basically reflected due to the change in the wages. Clear? Due to the change in the wages of that particular laborer. Now we have to move to the next one, that is second reason, that is possible causes. Clear? Along with that, basically what are the so now let's discuss what are the possible causes of labor rate variances. So labor rate variances basically it is in all likelihood not a controllable item as it is governed by the factors beyond the control of the management of the individual companies. Clear? Because it is very difficult to control that. So sometimes this variances basically may arise. Clear? Sometimes basically this variances basically may arise due to the new wage agreement. Clear? Due to the new wage agreement basically with the worker union. While in the standard costing, the rates applicable earlier may have been taken. Clear? Like in the standard costing, we have taken the earlier rates. Now, as per the wage agreement, their wages will be increased to rupees 200. Clear? As per some factor. Clear? So standard cost like 1200. Now it will let's to increase to 1400. Clear? So this will also definitely reflect the variance. Clear? So another possible reason of the variance basically could be the wrong estimate of the mix of skilled and unskilled labor hours involved in manufacturing, as the rates for both have to be different. Clear? Further, that is the rates of both skilled and the unskilled laborers. Clear? Rate of both the skilled and the unskilled laborers are to be different here. Clear? So we have to be take care also regarding that. Clear? So we have to be take care also regarding that while doing the estimates. Clear? While doing the estimates, we have to take care also regarding that. Okay. So now next point here, that is the labor time or the labor efficiency variances. Clear? Labor time or the labor efficiency variances. So the variances under this head basically it is caused due to the actual time taken for manufacturing one unit being different from the standard hours estimated in the standard costing. Clear? This will happen due to the variances in the time. Variances in the time taken for manufacturing. So now let's further discuss regarding that. So now let's discuss with the help of the example. So taking the same example as above, where the labor hours consumed in the manufacturing one unit, basically it is estimated at rupees R6 labor cost 150 per hour. So now review was done. Why there was increase? So when the review exercise was conducted, it was found that the actual cost of labor for each table was rupees. Actual cost now here cost 900. Now here actual cost that is 1050. Led to increase in 150 rupees. Each table was rupees 1050 against the standard cost of rupees 900. So it was find out further that is while the actual labor rate was rupees 150 per hour, same as the estimates in the standard costing. The actual labor hours for manufacturing each table were 7 hours. Now the actual are here 7 hours. Labor cost it is to be same here. Against were 7 against 6 hours estimated in the standard costing. So this resulted in clear. So this resulted in variances of rupees 150 per table. Clear. So this resulted basically in variances of rupees 150 per table in the labor cost of manufacturing one table. Clear. So this resulted in variances of rupees 150 per table in the labor cost of manufacturing one table. So the total variances in the labor cost, clear, the total variances basically in the labor cost due to this reason will be equal to the variances for one unit, variances for one unit multiplied by the total number of units manufactured during the product. Clear? So variances basically here that is 150 rupees. So if we are manufacturing 1000 units, so it will we have to multiply by 1000. Clear. So we will get overall total variances basically in our project. Clear. So here from that basically we will get overall variances. Okay. Okay. Now move further. So what are the possible causes? Clear. So what are the possible causes of labor time or labor efficiency variances? So some of the possible causes of the labor time or efficiency variances can be as under. First one, that is the inferior quality of the material used in the production. Clear. That is we are not using inferior, or basically we are using inferior quality of the material used. The second one, not following the standard production procedures. Clear. Second one, that is the not following the standard production procedure. Third one, that is the change in the production processes due to the introduction of the new tools or machines. Clear. Due to the introduction of new tools and machinery, as a new machinery it is comes into role. So basically it will also leads to the decrease in the time. Clear. It will leads to the decrease in the time. Clear. Or enhances the quality. Clear. If we are utilizing proper technology. Fourth one, that is the actual skill level being different than that are emphasized in the standard costing. Clear. So actual skill level basically being different than that emphasized in the standard costing. Fifth one, that is the machinery maintenance being of inferior quality. Clear. That is machinery we are not maintaining the machinery. Clear. Machinery maintenance basically will be of a inferior quality. Next one, that is the non-standard working conditions. Clear. Non-standard working condition, it is not good. Or deficiencies in the supervision. Clear. Deficiencies in the supervisions. Okay, so kindly remember all these things to be here regarding the material cost variances and the labor cost variances. Now, next one, we have left only with one, that is the overhead cost variances. Clear. Overhead cost variances, basically which we will cover in the next session, and or I will try to cover here. Clear. In the next session, we will discuss the questions. Clear. No need to worry. So overhead cost variances. Clear. So now let's understand further, that is the overhead cost variances. So the total overhead cost variances, basically it is the difference between the actual overhead cost incurred and the standard overhead cost allowed for the actual output achieved. Clear. So now it will difference basically where that is actual overhead cost incurred and the standard overhead cost allowed for the actual output achieved. So overhead cost variances basically consist of two parts. Clear. Further, the overhead cost variances basically consist of two parts. First one, that is the variable overhead variances. Second one, that is the fixed overhead variances. Clear. So here basically overhead cost variances basically consist of two parts. First one, that is the variable overhead variances. Second one, that is the fixed overhead variances. Clear. So now what is the meaning of all these things? So now let's try to understand basically with the help of the one example here. So first one, that is the overhead cost variances. Under that first one, which we have to discuss, that is the variable overhead variances. Clear? Variable overhead variances. So this also consists of two broad categories. Clear? This also consists of two broad categories. Variable overhead, that is variable overhead expenditure, and variable overhead volume. Variable overhead expenditure and variable overhead volume, or efficiency variances. Clear? So this also consists of two broad categories. First one here, that is the variable overhead expenditure variances. Second one, that is the variable overhead volume or efficiency variance. So now what is the meaning of these two things here? So now let's try to understand in detail. So variable overhead expenditure variances. Clear? First of all, which we have to discuss, that is the variable overhead expenditure variance. So this variance is basically, it is due to the actual variable overhead expenditure per hour. This variance, it is due to the actual variable overhead expenditure per hour being more than the budgeted or standard variable overhead expenditure per hour. While the actual variable overhead hours consumed in producing one table are the same as the budgeted hours. Clear? As the budgeted hours. Clear? Time is to be same, but expenses here it is to be different. Clear? That is not labor, not material. So what are the other reasons? So now let's try to understand it. So in a factory, the cost of each variable overhead hour for producing one table. Overhead expenses, that is, we can say electricity, machinery expenses, or other all this. So overhead hours, that it is to be 2 here. And estimated cost of each hour, estimated cost of each hour, basically it is to be rupees 600. So here that is, it is to be rupees 600. Clear? So the estimated cost of each 1 hour, it is to be rupees 300. So when the actual performance it is reviewed, it is found that production of each table has consumed 2 hours. Actual time, it is also 2 hours. But the expenditure of each variable overhead hour, it is to be 350. Overhead expenses, it is to be 350. So for that total 700. So it will lead to the change in rupees 100. Clear? So therefore the variances on this count, it is to be rupees 100 per table. Clear? That is to be basically rupees 100 per table here. That is the variable overhead expenditure variances. Clear here? Second one, that is the variable overhead volume or efficiency variances. So this variance basically it is due to what? This variance basically it is due to the actual variable overhead hours consumed in producing one table being more than the budgeted variable overhead hours. Clear? So in the variable overhead volume, just remember that hours. That is, we are not, our efficiency variance is clear. That is, we are not efficient for completing that work on time. Clear? We are not that much efficient basically for completing the work on time. That is, it has to be more here. Clear? So being more than the budgeted variable overhead hours, while the expenditure per hour basically it is as per the budget estimates. Clear? So now let's understand here. That is, so in a factory, the cost of each variable overhead hour, clear? So in a factory, the cost of each variable overhead hour for producing one table, it is estimated to be 2 hours. And the estimated cost of each such hour basically it is to be rupees 300. Clear? Our time here it is to be 2 hours. Cost here basically it is to be 300. That is earlier one. So when the actual performance it is to be reviewed here, it is found that the production of each table has consumed 2 hours as the budgeted. But the expenditure of each variable, I think this one it is the same. Wait a minute. I think they have little bit issue in the example here. Clear? I will update the example in the next session because here they will change in the updation of the R's. Clear? There will be change in the updation of the R's in this example. I think while preparing the slides, there will be little bit issue in the example. Wait a minute, I will check. Okay, so there is an issue in the example. So here basically just we are taking the overhead hours. Clear? Like earlier, basically there are 2 hours. Now basically there are 2.5 hours. Clear? So now there are 2.5 hours. Clear? So on the basis of that, there is a variances of that. Clear? So in the book also basically they mentioned. So there is a little bit issue under that. Clear? Because here we have to change the number of hours, not the overhead cost. Clear? That will be happen in the previous one. Clear? That will be happen in the previous one. Okay. So in this session, we have to cover up to this much point. If anyone has any doubt, any query regarding that, please ask fast. Clear? So here just we have to take the, that is hours. Here it is to be 3.2.5 hours. Cost, we can say that 300. Clear? Cost, we can say that 300. So 600. So it will add to the like 750. Clear? Earlier there is 600. So it will have, so there is a variance of the 150. Clear? That is variable overhead volume or efficiency variances due to the change in the number of hours. Clear? Due to the change in the number of hours here. Okay, so this will add to that. Clear? So in the next session, only some few points are left. Along with that, we will cover in the MCQs in the next session. Clear? That is accounting treatment of the variances. We have to cover just half an hour topic will left along with the MCQ discussion. Clear? So I request to all of you cover all these points on regular basis and try to go through the videos on regularly basis. So thanks to all of you for joining this short discussion.